I'm Jed Carroll, and this is my speech. The National Guard has been a force that the nation has relied on for many years, even before the beginning of our nation. And in this speech, I'll explain the history of it. Before we were even a country, our nation used a force called the Rangers. The Rangers were a bunch of backwoods men who would stop Indian raids before they happened. Today we know the Rangers as the 75th Ranger Regiment, also known as the Special Forces Group. During this time, 4 units of the Massachusetts militias came together to form the 101st Artillery, the 182nd Infantry, and the 183rd Engineer Battalion. During the Revolutionary War, these units came together with many others to act as the main fighting force between the newfound colonies and the British Empire. Even though the Continental Congress made the Continental Army, the militias still made efforts into fighting. Fast forward several years into the Civil War. The Confederates used mostly a militia force as their main army. Basically, they were just National Guard units, unofficial National Guard units. The North also used these militia units. President Lincoln, at the beginning of the war, authorized anywhere from 32 to 82 volunteer regiments from each state. In the 20th century, America was feeling pretty good about the Spanish-American War and the Philippines War. So people wanted a standard all across the board National Guard. With the Militia Act in 1903, all state militias turned into formal National Guard units. In the start of World War I, the main initial force that was sent to Europe was National Guard units. Around 300,000 troops were part of the National Guard. This was also the same for World War II as well. Even though they did not play as big of a role in World War II as they did in World War I, National Guard units still fought on with a total loss of 125,000 lives in World War II. In the more modern times, in Vietnam, around 15,000 troops were sent to fight there. In the Gulf War, around 27,000 troops were at hand, and by the time the war had ended, 37,000 troops were there. In more modern times, you know the National Guard as a group of soldiers who are helping out in national emergencies, like the recent Hurricane Florence and the hurricane down in Florida.
Is that it?